and welcome back to the Fixing Football podcast with me, Martin Naylor. This is episode 77, and I'm here with Liam O'Meara and Scott Naylor. Let's start with Scott, because it irks Liam. Scott, how are you doing, mate? How was your weekend?
I'm very, very well. Weekend was good, to be fair. It was pretty chilled. Didn't really get up to a great deal. I'm still on build up to holiday mode, I was trying to save my emotions and energy for the big event on Sunday afternoon/evening.
Yeah, we'll get on to that. Liam, how are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, Martin. Didn't enjoy the football too much this weekend. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't the best weekend of football. But I'm well. Though, what about you, Martin?
I'm good, thank you. We've got a lot of things coming up. We've got the awards very, very soon, so it'll be good to catch up with our peers within the industry. I'm looking forward to that night. What do you mean? What does that mean?
I just don't know. I don't know. We're just mingling and that, innit?
Mingling? Yeah, you're keen. Anyway.
I know. Yeah, go on.
What else have we got going on? Our competition is still live. We are on the hunt for 1,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas. And to help us along with that, you can win a David Beckham signed Real Madrid shirt. And all the details are below. So please go and do that. It'd really make my Christmas anyway. It's the only thing I want. And it's free. So thanks everyone who's done it so far. I've had over 250 entries so far. But we want our subscribers to creep up. So if anyone could help us out with that, that'd be great. And be in with a chance of winning a bit of football in iconic memorabilia. Liam, let's start with you and Bolton Wanderers.
Ugh.
Scott can jump in as well because we've got a bit of Stockport news here, but it wasn't good, was it?
No, it wasn't. I don't really know what happened, to be completely honest. The game, which I was supposed to be going to, but unfortunately Stockport decided that my money wasn't good enough for them and cancelled my ticket the night before. But whatever, you know. The game itself, I don't really know how that happened. I thought the game was pretty even up until their goal not long before half-time. And then we looked okay before the break. Like, we were pushing to get an equaliser. I remember sort of saying that to my dad, who I was watching it with, that we were in the mix. We could potentially get a goal before half-time. And then we can see just after half-time, we just go to absolute pieces. All the wounds open up again. And you can't really turn around for videos of Bolton fans absolutely laying into the players at the end of the game. Those wounds still haven't healed from Wembley. We talked about this back in May, that as soon as things got bad this season, those scars reopen. We're on the back of winning 6 out of the last 7 games, but the reality is all those are very winnable games. I know that sounds harsh, but it's just the reality of a team that theoretically is one of the best teams in the league on paper. And we just simply don't turn up for these important games, as important as, Stockport can be. So, yeah, really disappointing, and I don't know where we go from here.
So what's all the news then on Ian Everett's future? Are you back to where you were a few months ago, where it was time to go? I know you thought it should have gone in May, really, but
I think this will keep happening. Yeah, this will keep happening, because this is what happens when you...
It's like once you've circled the drain once, though.
Yes,
like
circling the drain kind of, yeah.
You can swim away from it a little bit, but it's always going to be... It's still happening, in it, that whirlpool behind you.
Yeah, or like your batteries are running out in your remote and you sort of switch them round and you get like another sort of few weeks out of them, but inevitably they're going to run out of batteries. That's kind of where we are. So I don't know if we will do it, because I thought we'd do it last time we had this conversation, maybe 2 months ago after the back of the Huddersfield game. And I thought we'd do it then, and we didn't. So, I don't know. I mean, he should get sacked, but will he? I don't know.
He should based on performance. So that's like an analytical view of it. You personally, do you want to see him go? Do you think it's time for a change?
Yes, absolutely, 100% yes. So
you've put the feelers out, or not you? Twitter admin has put the feelers out.
Yeah. Unnamed Twitter admin.
And there's a few names being tossed around. Who would you like to see come in? You personally.
Right, so...
Not Twitter admin.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what Twitter admin was talking about. So, who would I like to see? Probably Mark Robbins from Coventry's target number one. A few people have called that unrealistic. I think, surely you ask the question. He is out of work. Like, Bolton isn't a small club. Yes, we're in League One at the moment, and he did well in the Championship, but that is a club with potential. So, it's his to say no to for me. After that, other names being mentioned: Ryan Lowe, former Preston manager, former Plymouth manager, pretty good manager, doesn't really inspire me too much, and Stephen Schumacher, formerly of Plymouth as well, and Stoke most recently before he was sacked from Stoke. Again, I mean, I'd probably prefer Schumacher out of those two, but for me, I want Mark Robbins to say no to it first. Other outside shouts, I was reading Tommy Mowbray's feeling a bit better now. He's obviously been unwell, hasn't he? But I believe he's on the mend and potentially looking for work again. I mean, if he is in that position, I would probably have him in very much in the mix. He's a brilliant manager, Tony Mowbray, so I'd be open-minded to that. But
I was going to say, do you want someone with a bit of a reputation, a bit more of a name? With all due respect to Schumacher and, I mean, Matt Robbins is sort of on a high because he's got a lot of goodwill amongst the fans after his exit. But with Schumacher and the other guy that you mentioned, they don't scream. What's the word? Like they don't come with an aura of a big name manager in the same way that maybe Tony Mowbray would. A guy who's been there, done it.
I think from a football league perspective, like they are quite weighty names, I would say, that you'd get in terms of getting a League One manager. But I don't know. We might not even sack him. Like we might not even sack him. But if we did, it's got to be Robbins' first choice for me. I do like Mowbray, though.
Is that maybe the issue, that there isn't an obvious name there that's screaming to go and get him?
I think
Kevin Nolan.
Shut the fuck up. With names, no, there's plenty of names. Like those names I've mentioned there, most clubs will be in League One will be very happy with as their manager. They're not shot on candidates. It's just they just seem to want it to work with him. Like they're invested in him. They must like him at the board level, and they want it to work. But you know, there's loads of things that I want to happen in life that won't happen because you know that's how life works. Sometimes it doesn't work out the way we want to, and we just fucking get on with it. So, yeah.
You've come with a bit of a bleak attitude all around today, I think.
5-0 away at Stockport will make you bleak. Like, it will make you bleak. But I feel like it's good that we went at this because we can get this out of the way and then I can get stuck into your clubs after. So, just make myself feel better.
Well, that's what you've been doing all weekend. If anyone's privy to our WhatsApp group, you've been lashing out a little bit. Listen, last one on Bolton, though. And I know I've joked about Nolan. It's just more to wind you up than anything. But is it someone like that, even if it was till the end of the season, a good way of getting the fans on side and building a bit of
because it's such a shit appointment. Like, this is one of those that, like...
it could be the League One Arteta.
The idea of it is better for fans of other clubs than it is the reality. No, we want someone we want a normal manager. We don't want, like, someone... This is the thing with, like, get Big Sam back. Like, fuck off. Like, what are you on about? The guy's so past it, it's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, absolutely no disrespect to Big Sam. Love the guy.
Oh, yeah, he won't be offended by that.
Statue outside, getting on, but... I know, yeah. But, yeah, no offense. He's fucking bastard. But, no, I want a normal appointment because we're a serious football team. I don't want to fucking the streets won't forget appointment like Ivan Campo and Kevin Davis joint managers just for all the Twitter weirdos. No, let's let a normal manager and get promoted. I'm done. That's enough, Bolton. Let's move on to your teams.
I was going to ask Scott about Stockport. I mean, he's a semi-hatter.
Yeah, to be all honest, in all honesty, I can't really add a great deal. I do follow Stockport County. When I saw the goals flooding in, I was just a bit like, I want County to batter most teams, but I really deep down want it to be at Bolton's expense. Really want that. I'd rather they go and smash Wrexham or Peterborough or somebody else. But up into 6th place, really good start for County. But looking at it though, Bolton, you're not that far away from the playoff places either. It's only a couple of points, isn't it? So
No,
if you do,
this season's not over. The problem is that we're not getting better at the stuff that we've been bad at all along, which is like winning big. Like at the beginning of the season, I sat here and I said it, didn't I? Those little points that I wrote down, and then we said on here, number one at the top was win big games, and we're getting no better at that. If anything, we're getting fucking worse. But it's a good win for Stockport because they have been struggling. So that was, and Louis Barry scored again, so that's nice for them. But that is where we are different, Scott, because I intrinsically love it when your teams get absolutely smashed. So that's where we are very different.
This is Liam, the positive, like mindset, open-hearted home hero who comes at us usually with all these proverbs and metaphors. But anyway, let's move on to the Premier League and some good football, proper football as I like to call it. Scott, it was Arsenal v Chelsea this weekend, or Chelsea Arsenal. But seeing as though that's probably the biggest match, is there anything else across the leagues that you think, or across the league that you think is worth highlighting?
Possibly the worst game of all time, West Ham and Everton. It might be worth a mention. We like to talk about great things that happen, but sometimes something is so dross that you just have to highlight it. And those two put up an absolute terrorist performance. It was absolutely shambolic. I caught the extended highlights on Sky afterwards. And
how did they make extended highlights of it?
Yeah, precisely. Extended, I use that term very loosely. They showed a certain portion of the game, I guess is a more accurate way of describing it. And
they showed the full half-time break.
Yeah, you've just got a feel for anyone who travelled. I can't even remember who the away team was, but either way, that's a long journey for whoever's the away fans.
Everton.
I think it was Everton who went down, wasn't it? And yeah, just god awful. But otherwise, it seemed pretty routine across the league. United got a win at home to Leicester. Anything else would have been pretty shocking.
Well, the only one that wasn't routine was Ipswich at Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh, God. Jesus, I can't believe I forgot about that. But yeah, by all means, getting into Tottenham is your area of expertise, so by all means, take it away.
Well, I think we both enjoy a good dig at Sad Ange, getting when his eyebrows are down and he's, I don't know, crying to the floor whenever he's been interviewed after a game. But they get the worse Tottenham do, the more Ange annoys me. Like, he's great when Tottenham are playing well. He's great. He's this lovable guy, this media darling that everyone loves and gets to call people mate and has a good crack with the reporters. Yeah. And whenever Spurs are Spursy, he just reverts to this weirdo in his shell. And
he does. Yeah, he really does.
It's really poor from Tottenham at the moment.
Who's the likeable Premier League manager when they've lost?
Because
I would argue all of them come across quite badly when they lose.
Maybe, but there's such a disparity between Happy Ange and Sad Ange that it's just hilarious. He's becoming a bit of a meme of himself. But I'm happy Ipswich got a win on the board. As we said at the start of the season, I don't want to see all the promoted teams get immediately relegated again, even though it's looking like that's going to be the way anyway. But yeah, happy they got a win. I'm happy Spurs lost as well. That's always a bonus.
Yeah, likewise. The Ange press conferences are actually, for me, it's the lack of eye contact. He just won't look at whoever. By all means, still say the same words that you say and be disappointed with the result, but you can't help. He stares at the ground like, no, it's just disappointing, mate.
It's so rude. It is rude, isn't it?
He just comes across. To Liam's point, I was actually just trying to think then of who is actually quite gracious in defeat. And I don't actually know. Russell Martin comes across all right, but maybe it's because he just knows they're going to get smashed every week.
He's had quite a bit of practice, so yeah.
Yeah, it's just like he's baked into the cake of his...
Gary O'Neill?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
There's only so many VAR decisions they can happen against you where you can keep you cool. I think he
quite
comes
like
across
Pep's reaction to losing is if you wrote it down as a transcript, it'd be quite positive. But you know he doesn't mean any of it. Like,
yeah.
Oh, so good. Oh, you did great. Well done. Like, but yeah, as if he's conned us. As he's, yeah.
Well, that was another talking point, Liam. I don't know if you want to add any more to it, but City losing again on a pretty
brilliant.
stinker of a run. It is brilliant. It's great for the league.
I missed that as well. Jesus, I'm not doing very well.
No.
Some big points this week. Scott Watford 0-0.
Yeah, he went to Everton and West Ham, which we've on our Twitter admin has told me that we have quite a lot of Everton and West Ham fans on there, and I've never seen a group of people so unhappy. No one in that stadium was happy with anything. Like, I don't know what Everton fans were moaning about. Anyway, I'm not getting into them scrubbers. Anyway, so City, funny.
Sounds like you did.
Very funny. They're in trouble, City. They really are. They're really struggling. They're defensively fallible, and they're not creating anywhere near the chances that they're doing. We talked about Haaland on a previous podcast, but even Haaland at his best, and he's not getting anywhere near the service. The teams are really working how to play this version of City. They are not the same beast. They are not the same team, and they very much are there to be beat this year, which obviously makes a certain team's struggles a little bit more disappointing and harder to take, I imagine. But we'll get on to unnamed teams later. But yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I think this run will carry on as well. I don't think it's after they've got a tough run after the international break.
Good. My joy is mainly focused around these days Man City's demise, and the more the merrier for me. Pep's been moaning about getting his squad back, and I know he's got. I don't think they started with the big squad, this big, money team that we've become synonymous with Man City. They don't actually have that big of a squad. If you include, especially they've got homegrown players like Rico Lewis and Phil Foden, obviously, and then the new lad who's been starting at centre back. But that's who they're relying on now. So anyway, ha to them. Fuck you, City. Liverpool march on, top of the league. They're looking a lot better than any of us expected. I think we'll touch on Liverpool next week and do a bit more of a deep dive. But Arne Slot's getting a tune out of him, Scott. Is it a worry that are they going to sneakily run away with the league, or is he still Are we still? Well, we say expecting. Are we still hoping that the wheels fall off them at some point and they run out of steam?
I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest. I feel like I'm sort of been put into a conversation that I wasn't really supposed to be in at the start of the season. I should have been. Liverpool shouldn't really have been my concern, but given how things are playing out, we're closer to Liverpool than we are, than we thought. I do think he benefits from having some extremely well established and very good, high quality players in key positions. And he's he's inherited a good team, hasn't he? Let's be realistic. He's I'm not trying to discredit anything that he's done, and he has certainly changed the way Liverpool play as a team, a very different outfit to what Klopp had them doing. But he still inherited a very good crop of players. So I think let's just wait and see. I feel like City are more handing this over than Liverpool are taking it, if that makes any sense.
Do you think there's any... It's not necessarily that Klopp was doing poor or thing. Do you think there's any value in just having a new man around with a bit more energy, like good vibes? Because especially with Klopp, like, he looked a bit angry. He looked a bit ratty, certain Premier League unnamed referees didn't describe him too nicely as a polite man either. Like, was there a case that he was just becoming tired of the role and a new voice around just that's up for it has made a big difference?
Yeah, I think exactly that. I was literally just thinking that, and I do want to save a lot of Liverpool chat for next week. But yeah, I do agree. It's a new, these new managers come in and they want to stamp their authority and they want to get their identity on the team. And he's took a really surprising approach. And I think a lot of us were questioning how well he would be backed. He only brought in Chiesa, who we've barely seen. I don't remember if he's even made a Premier League appearance yet. But yes, the fact that he's just come in, fresh ideas, he's got a fit and excitable Mo Salah, Van Dijk's even looking back to somewhat of his best. And yeah, he's really getting a tune out of him. So they are a worry and a big threat right now. Let's have 2-minute break, and then we could talk about Chelsea v Arsenal and some other breaking news from today. And we're back. Still not thought of a new intro for the second half, but I'm going to roll with it. It's going to become one of them things that I just have done automatically and it sticks forever. So, Scott, let's start with you. Chelsea v Arsenal, 1-1. What are your initial thoughts? Thoughts on the game? How Chelsea are doing and where they're at right now?
It's a tricky one. I was trying to like place how I felt about it after the game, and I don't think, in terms of the game itself, I don't think either team was that great. We were both of our best players were nullified. I think Cucurella did a very, very good job on Saka, and I think Palmer I didn't notice anybody in the Arsenal midfield really doing anything particular to keep it quiet. I just think he was a bit poor on the day. I just don't think he particularly played very well. I just think he just had a bit of an off day. So it was a bit scrappy. It wasn't really that. Yeah, it wasn't really like anything free flowing. Our attack was extremely slow. We had some good individual performances that I think kind of dragged us to something of a result. But I don't know. There was a small feel, and maybe you felt the same from the Arsenal side. But I sort of left thinking like there was a win there for us, even though neither team was clearly, the better or dominated or whatever. Much like Arteta would try and have you believe, which I want to get to in a bit. I don't know. I kind of left thinking bit of a shit game, but probably one that we could have won. I don't know if you left feeling the same.
I get your point, and I think it was there for you to win. In regards of like whenever Neto or Madueke not so much, but Neto and Jackson, whenever they got through or a chance at a run at someone, they backed off. So yeah, it was. I think it was there was options there for you to go at it, and for whatever reason, your players didn't seem confident enough to go for it. I don't know if there was a plan to try and get more bodies forward or whatever. It felt very meditated after the third or fourth or fifth time that you weren't going at the defenders. But in the same space, I felt the game was there for us to go in the same vein to go through and do it. In my head, I had it was going to be a 0-0. As soon as I started watching it, I just thought, I think it's going to be a 0-0. This a draw, I think, is again a fair reflection of the game, where we're at. We are getting. I don't agree that we're unlucky in the games, even though we're dominating. We're bossing the midfield. People are getting through. Liam, you seem to not agree.
Dominating? Do you honestly think you dominated that game?
No, I don't think it. I know it clearly. I'm not saying we had the best chances. I think we were on top in possession.
Oh, right. I was going to ask you actually a question about.
Instead of just
most
looking
recent
over my
performances.
points.
And I think it's relevant when you say dominating, because I think you're far too defensive in terms of your setup at the moment, and you don't assert yourselves onto opposition at all. And I was hoping that would change for you with Odegaard coming in, but it didn't really. It kind of was like you were better, but it was more of the same in some ways, just with better quality players. I expect you to try and be a little bit more on the front foot in this game, because yes, Chelsea are improved, but you've got some catching up to do. And it's all well and good at the beginning of the season saying we could take a point away at Chelsea, but not when you've lost the games that you've lost. You needed to win this game, and I don't think you played like that. And I don't think you play like that a lot when you're away from home. You seem to be more resolved in being defensively resolute and nicking on set pieces, almost obsessively so, than actually try and take the game to someone that maybe you would have done last season, the year before. And I'm surprised more Arsenal fans aren't criticising that. And I'm wondering,
they are
they?
Because it's becoming
the ones I know don't really.
You don't know too many. That's the main voice coming out of Arsenal fans. We are quite predictable. We're really solid defensively, but once we're breaking down, it's almost like we need to concede an early goal to really have the impetus to use our possession to then go and attack. It's like when the game's still 0-0, we don't have anything there. It's frustrating at the moment. I do feel like goals will start to come once we hit some sort of a rhythm. I just hope it happens sooner rather than later.
Here's a question as well, and then I'm going to ask Scott an affronting Chelsea question. Even though he scored at the weekend, does Martinelli not worry you? because he seems to be completely anonymous for most games. And yes, I know he scored, but that doesn't tell the full story of his performance again, I don't think.
And that was some awful defending as well that give him that. Essentially gave him that chance.
Don't worry, we'll get to Chelsea, Scott. Don't
worry. Does he worry me? He doesn't worry me. I just don't. I don't know. I'm becoming less sold on him at the moment because I think his progress has stagnated a little bit, and we've always played, especially in this setup where we will play intricate over on the right hand side near Saka, and Odegaard will drift out there, and Havertz or Trossard or whoever will always drift out there, and our intricacies will be right hand sided of the game, and then the impetus is then to spread it wide to Martinelli, and he's generally left with a one-on-one at that point. And that's when this whole Arteta plan started coming together. That was where we was really strong, and Martinelli started to shine. And I just think I don't know if he's not lacking confidence or whatever. Hopefully he can kick on after getting a good goal this week. I don't think he played too bad, but I don't think he's offering enough. We look so much to Saka to save us, and that's the outball most of the time. He just needs to know that he can actually go past people. You're up against a quick player like Gusto, it's going to be hard, and you got to pick your moments. And I feel like that's what he was doing, but just nothing was really coming off. I thought he put some good balls in. He got a goal. He did all right. Sunday was one of his better games that he's had. He's slowly getting better as the season goes on. I just need more from him. Okay. The fact that we're not seeing Sterling anytime soon shows me where he's at as well, which is worrying.
It's almost as if someone said that would happen. Scott, Chelsea.
Go on.
I'm going to start with one that's not as affronting, but I'm a bit like, I'm sat going, what's going on here with Nkunku? What's the point in having him if you're not starting him?
I think that, well, I think the current situation that we've got with Nkunku is somewhat, I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this. I think it's more a unfortunate byproduct of Cole Palmer's rise than anything else. So when we signed him before last season kicked off, it was like a mid-season deal that we announced. And he gets injured in pre-season, and he misses pretty much the entire season. So I think that the plan would have been to, whatever Cole Palmer was doing last season, I think the plan had everything gone according to. And Nkunku would have been our main guy last season, playing in that 10 role behind Jackson. That was clearly what was happening in pre-season. I think that was always planned. And then he drops out, Palmer gets his chance to come in, and the rest is kind of history at this point. So I think we've got a situation where the part of the pitch that Cole Palmer is currently occupying, and he's made himself pretty much undroppable within reason, is where Christopher Nkunku would normally play. So we tried him as a striker. It doesn't really work. He's not really a centre forward in that way. He can kind of do a job there, but he's not real. And also Nicholas Jackson's form has been great, so you can't drop him. You can't drop Palmer. So I don't think it's a case that we want to bench him. I just think that where you would normally put him, what a lot of people would say is the best player in the league, is currently playing there. I don't really know what happens. And also, I will say, in some of the Premier League games where he has been given minutes, bar the Bournemouth game where he won us the game on his own, he hasn't really done a great deal to show me that he should be starting. So I think it's a bit of an unfortunate byproduct of a lot of other factors. And Palmer's rise to the stage is one of them.
What about, is he undeserving of being played out as an out-and-out number 9 instead of Jackson?
He's based on Jackson's form, yes, but also he's not real. That's not really what he is. I think you can, like, if Jackson was at AFCON or whatever, that's where you play Nkunku probably.
I was just saying more. He's more than like the next closest, isn't he, in terms of a striker that you've got.
Yeah. He would be. That is effectively at the moment playing as the cup striker, which is not really what he is, but it's kind of the only way that we can really give him minutes without benching Palmer. But I said before in the run up to the game that I wouldn't have minded, because Palmer had picked up a bit of a knock. I wouldn't have minded even just giving Palmer a bit of a rest in there, just giving Nkunku a go. He's still somehow our top scorer in all competitions this season. Granted, he's stat padding in the Conference League, but he still scored the most goals. So, and at some point, you've got to give him a run. And I do think as we get into what we're heading into now, a congested period of fixtures, he's going to get some game time, particularly if Palmer is injured. And I think it will happen naturally over the course of the season. We will have to rotate. But yeah, I think that you can't really bench Jackson because he's scoring goals and his link up with Palmer's crucial, and you can't bench Palmer because of what he does. So I do feel a bit bad for him because I think it's a lot of stuff that's out of his control has happened to put him on the bench.
So, do you think 1-1 was probably a fair reflection of the game itself then? And are you happy with 1-1 really?
I mean, it's not real. We drew at Stamford Bridge last season as well. It's going to be telling what happens when we go to the Emirates after last season's absolute car crash or what happened there for us. On the balance of the game, yes. I mean, I think I'd completely disagree with what you and Mikel Arteta said about dominating the game. It was, I have no idea where you're both getting that from. The stats are completely even. Almost, we've had the same shots on target. We have more shots on goal. You had 1% more possession or 2% more possession.
It's outrageous. It's an absolutely outrageous thing to say in that game. I thought it was a fairly even game. It was a fairly even game.
No, it was totally even. I think that. And the numbers back it up, and the scoreline backs it up. So to say that Arsenal dominated was just. It's just lying. I just think that was. Yeah, it was a lie. I mean, I'm not even saying that Arsenal were bad or Chelsea were bad. They were both just all right. And
it's weird. It's a weird lie. No one like afterwards when he was saying it after, I texted you didn't believe me, did you? At first, I was texting you when he was saying it. I'm like, yeah, you thought I was just trying to wind you up. Which, to be fair, I was winding people up all day yesterday. But I was like, no, he's actually saying this. He's actually saying that they dominated the ball and he's really happy with it. But and I'm like, I thought, did they? It's like, made me think like, have I just watched something? Like, I was really like, was I paying attention? Because it felt a pretty even game. Like, I felt it'd be a bit more like on the lines of, I've just felt like we were hoping we could maybe create a little bit more. I felt like we controlled the game okay. I don't know that, but dominated. I was like, you're on your ass. You're going nuts. Like you're absolutely losing it here.
Losing.
Thought he was quite disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he gave.
He's usually so respectful as well, so it's really out of character for him to be.
So
you don't need to have the little weird, quirky jibes, Liam. He is quite respectful. What are you on about?
So before the game, he said, "If we play the same way that we played against Inter, we'll win the game." Which because you lost that game. So. Not really sure where he got that from. And also, after the game, so he made the comments about dominating. He made the comments about dominating, which are just lies. Like, everything points towards that just being him saving face or some weird... Again, you've got two Pep... I said this before, you've got two Pep weirdos. We've got a Pep weirdo now as well. He's not... I feel like he's not been away from Pep long enough to become his own weirdo. We'll probably get there in due course. And also, he claimed that our goal was lucky. What the fuck are you on about? That's just pings it in from outside. It's just complete nonsense. Complete utter nonsense.
I didn't watch the interview, but I did see the way it said it was lucky, and then on the transcript of it on Arsenal's website, he sort of clarifies it a bit, and I think he meant. I'm not saying that we are usually so defensively sound in that area that ball never usually happens. And you could just see there's a switch off moment from the back four in the midfield. Even Odegaard looks up like, where the fuck is everyone?
But this is what's
and
nuts.
He just said it's not bad luck. So I think he clarified it later on.
But you score a good goal where Chelsea defend like absolute headless chickens. But then this pretty well constructed Chelsea picking you apart is. I was just like, what's going on here? But to be fair, and we'll probably move on because I think we've covered Arsenal Chelsea. It was pretty good that Arsenal got that point, considering the amount of home games Chelsea have apparently won there all year, that they've been ripping teams apart all season at home, Scott.
Maybe it's just a feeling.
He said, his exact words were, Chelsea destroy everyone here in every single way, and we have literally 2 home wins in the league all season. So I don't know what he's smoking, but on the balance of it, just Arteta being a little weirdo, but
I think he's going off vibes there because I think that's more of a compliment. He's saying that like regardless of the results, he's not even cares about them, and that's what my impression. My impression is the same.
He should care about them.
Battering people.
I think he should care about them.
It's the weird Pep thing, like when Pep batters someone 4-0. Oh, they're an amazing team. They're incredible.
So good. So good.
Yeah, he's just. I just don't get him.
Southampton was so good.
But no,
he said that, didn't he? Was it Pep said? I'm going to learn a lot from Russell Mine, and he's lost 4 games in a row since.
Yeah, the fucking weirdo.
Right.
Yeah,
I think you're right, Liam. Wrapped up. Let's move on for an FFP derby for another day. Liam, what else is breaking in the world of football today? Hit me up. Hit me with some news stories.
There's quite a lot going on, actually. Considering that, like 6 hours ago, we were like, what we're talking about today. There's quite a lot's happened between then and now. So I think we've alluded to one of the big news stories emerging today of Jurgen Klopp being the subject of ire from one of the PGMOL's leading lights, David Coote, who has appeared on a video looking, we'll say worse for wear, with a friend, a close friend who may not be that close a friend anymore after this, who absolutely won't share this video, as he says in the video that has now been shared, that almost certainly, well, the concern is that this may ruin the career of David Coote, is the words in the video. And I share those concerns for David Coote. I think he is in deep shit. And I don't think he could have picked a worse club to be slagging off in terms of how proportionate reaction that you will get from that. It's like, I was reading from a couple of like fairly well followed Liverpool fan pages saying that this confirms that the PGMOL is corrupt against Liverpool. I mean, for me, it just sounds like he's had a bad day at work and he's slagging off somebody he's had to deal with all day at work. But it doesn't look great. I'll let someone else sort of get their view across.
Worried about digging yourself an hole here, mate. You've got a lot of referee friends. Listen, if for anyone who's not seen the video, just type David Coote into X and you will have a good laugh. And from my point of view, the second video is the best. Where his mate chimes in and says, "All right, let's not. We don't want to cost this guy his job. He's a Premier League referee. He's a good lad."
Why is it come out now? Who did David Coote referee over the weekend? Like, why is this come out now?
I don't know who refereed over the weekend. That's a good question. Maybe he was on VAR. He's been on VAR a lot, I believe, this year.
Oh, okay.
Scott, if you can have a quick Google while we're chatting.
Yeah, because that.
Let's
live research.
This is one of the worst things to happen to the PGMOL now, I think, is and it is going to have
PGMOL in ruin again.
But it is going to have repercussions because Arsenal fans and loads of other fans have been all over social media for ages talking about bias, and we're not the only fan base who has to look up where a referee's from. And
I would say you're the most. You're the most consistent with that.
I know you would say that. I know you would say that, but we're not.
Okay.
We are amongst. I'm saying we're amongst the voices, though.
Yes, in like the top, at least top one of voices. But yeah.
Thanks for chiming in again. Thanks.
It's all right.
Anyway, it's what I'm saying. It's already what I'm saying.
Okay. But anyway, go on. What were you gonna? Let's
get to the point. Yeah. This is gonna. So all these fans have been coming up with talks of bias about whether referees do have a bias, maybe, and even Gary O'Neill referred to it as like unconscious bias. Even.
But everyone has unconscious bias. That's just.
Well, I'm sure everyone who works in an office has done some unconscious bias training at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's going to be ripples from this and it's confirming a lot of
it's
fans'
not confirming.
beliefs.
It's
confirming a lot of fans' beliefs about the way
that's the
referees
wrong
think.
word. That's the wrong word. Confirming.
How is it?
I just think it's just someone chiming off when they've had a few beers. I don't think it's deeper than that. But the problem is, I appreciate how it looks, and it sparks off these thousands of different conspiracy theory weirdos. But for me, it's just some.
But you don't think this is anything more, even though in the video, allegedly him. I don't know what because if this were me, I would be claiming this is a deep fake immediately and running for the hills.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, Russia at work.
As soon as I saw it, actually, I thought if this is a deep fake, it's a great one.
Fucking Zuckerberg's got me again. That'll be gonna-
I would be blaming Keir Starmer and Donald Trump and anyone else who'd be getting it, Elon Musk.
the
But
Red Cartel.
the Red Cartel, they'd be getting it. Listen, it's just, it isn't great. It's not a good look for him. Not a good look for the PGMOL, what they're going to have to deal with following on from this. Can the PGMOL...
You're going to say, can the PGMOL survive this? Is that what we're going to say?
Can they survive this? Will they survive this? What
happens if they don't?
Will a reform be needed?
Reform? Where does it go?
What do you
like,
do here? What do
I
you
don't know.
do?
Yeah.
Like this, he's just a guy. Can we not just also explore the possibility? Because he says on the video that Jurgen Klopp is. Can I say the C word on YouTube? Or will we get
Does it get flagged?
We're well into the episode.
Can we do like a beep? Can we get like a? Hang on, you say it, Scott, and I'll try and beep. Beep.
Cunt.
Oh, well, okay.
Forgetting all the million times Liam said it in the past anyway. He's just decided no.
Have I said that word?
And many times. Your grandmother's very
I probably have.
Okay. I feel like I haven't said it.
He calls Jurgen Klopp a cunt on this video, right? Why can't we just explore the possibility that Jurgen Klopp may be cunt? Because he ain't David Coote's not the first person to have thought or said this.
Yeah, he doesn't look great to deal with, does he? When he's like going nuts, and he's a big lad as well, isn't he, Klopp? Like,
he looks like a fucking idiot.
And everyone hears how he speaks to journalists. So, and don't get me wrong, he looks like one of those people who's very much got two sides to him. And when things don't go his way, so. Yeah, he probably is quite hard work to deal with, I imagine.
Yeah, but again, like you said before, sorry, Scott, that what managers are nice to deal with when they've lost. So,
well, the thing is, I don't mind the game he's referring to. Liverpool were already champions by this point. Well, what the fuck's Klopp got to be?
Well, when is the video from? When is it allegedly from?
Well, the game in question that he's referring to, he's talking about a game against Burnley in 2020. This was like the COVID season.
Right.
So it's kind of like, and they'd already been, I think it was the game that stopped Liverpool from winning I think it was like the 25th game after that 24.
Is this the one they lost 3-0 randomly or something? They lost like a random game 3-0, didn't they, that season?
That was to Watford, but it wasn't then. It was,
it was Watford. Well remembered.
It was Watford. It was a 1-1 draw, and that's what stopped them winning. And so I don't know what it was. They were already champions by this point. Like, they battered absolutely everybody.
Is it winning every home game or something? Is that what it was?
Probably something like that. The thing is, I remember from that season as well. Frank Lampard had a bit of a run-in with him, and his quite famous clip going round of, your first league title you've ever won, and you're giving it the big one on the touchline, and it's like,
oh yeah.
So he's clearly a bit of a prick to deal with, and like you said, it comes across in his interviews. He's on camera multiple times being so rude to journalists and other people. So don't necessarily think David Coote should get in trouble for recounting his own personal experience with.
He'll get in trouble.
Hold on. Right. We can't argue the fact that a man who's meant to be impartial and over a game that so many people care about, and the spotlight is on these referees, and he knows this isn't a new thing. It's getting worse, but it isn't a new thing, that he can come out and be on a video where he's saying we hate Scousers and Jurgen Klopp's a cunt. That there's meant to be impartial just because they do hate Scousers and Jurgen Klopp may be a cunt. You can't say that.
She can.
She
can. He doesn't have to.
Just speaking
for clarification, he didn't say he hates Scousers, did he? That was his mate.
No, I said he's on a video where they're saying weird.
Yeah, he doesn't say he doesn't though.
Yeah.
But in a way, we don't say that on every podcast, I suppose, do we?
No, because
my point on this is, though, you can't stop him from having an opinion, and you can't stop him from having because the alternative to what you're saying is that means he then has to like Klopp, he has to like Liverpool. Like, he doesn't have to like these people he interacts with. And if Jurgen Klopp has been a prick to him, then that's his experience, and that's what I will caveat all of this by saying that David Coote is a fucking moron for allowing himself to be recorded. I don't care how pissed you are. If you want to have a moan about your work life and why you'd say to him, why is your camera out? There's only one reason and one reason only that your friend, if he is actually your friend, would record that, and that's to have some dirt on you in the future. And I suspect, why else would you do if that was amongst friends? You wouldn't record that, would you?
Nah.
So
That was
he's
anyone-
he's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
He
Listen,
should be denying the fuck out of it.
Liam.
He is so far, I think.
Good. What else can you do? You can't admit it's you.
Right, let's live in a world where this is actually real and it wasn't deep faked by Russian state terrorists
Oh, Red Cartel.
or the Red Cartel. What happens to David Coote?
It's hard to see him coming back from this one, isn't it? To be completely honest.
Yep,
Because
he
the
can't
Premier
come
League's
back
such
now.
a weird place that, despite everything, his integrity will now be compromised, and I don't believe that personally. I think you can deal with people you don't like. We all do it all day at work, don't we? Everyone's.
But we
able
just
to-
spoke about that. We just spoke about it being impartial and any unconscious bias. He can't go into that being knowingly partial now.
Yeah, I know, but just double speak, innit? Because we're just pretending that no one else has any faults. Like all the rest of them are just completely faultless robots with no brain. Like all we've done here is just seen it. Like that's the difference, isn't it? Like they've all got faults, they've all got brains and opinions. Like it's just the fact is that we've seen it, and the problem is because we've seen it, and because the fans of certain clubs have a certain tendency to think that the world's against them, and like you say, confirms their agendas. And here we are, so he's going to probably lose his job, and cancel culture wins again, unfortunately.
I think that's poor from you. That you go in. It's for, just because he's talking about Liverpool and this. I think all clubs should be worried about this.
Why? What do you worry? Real things are going on in your life. What are you worried about? A man being pissed, saying he doesn't like Jurgen Klopp. Like,
Yeah, I
why
agree.
Jurgen
I
Klopp be
think
nicer? Jurgen Klopp be nicer. What does he think the referees are going? All the other referees are going to think now if he loses his job over it. These Liverpool fans all celebrating online. Oh yeah, I'm sure all David Coote's mates are going to be great now, aren't they? They're all. It's just stupid. Like, I think that we can't because the world won't allow it. But this kind of thing, just be a bit like, you silly sausage, and slap him on the wrist and move on. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in, and he'll lose his job.
Good.
Which I know will be one on the card for Liverpool. I know they go level now with Arsenal with 1-1 in costing referees jobs. So yeah,
No, the FA hired Joe Mate back.
I think if he'd said this about any other representative from any other club, he'd be fine. But it's Liverpool, so he won't be. He'll be made an example of.
No
and
way.
he's also can I point out as well?
Big
this
Six.
No, it's Liverpool. Not. Let's not group everyone together. This is about Liverpool. If this was Arsenal, United, Chelsea, it wouldn't matter.
I don't think
It wouldn't
Arsenal would have
matter at
taken
all.
it well.
Oh no, they wouldn't. But like
Arsenal are loving it. I've seen like Arsenal podcasts doing emergency things to almost celebrate it. Like, even though it has literally nothing to do with them.
You haven't
also
seen
Klopp
that,
isn't
that's
even in
not
the
true.
league anymore. Klopp's not even in the league anymore. So what does it matter? If he hates Jurgen Klopp, who gives a shit?
What if David Coote
even there
gets an
anymore.
appointment with the Red Bull group now?
Can't see that happening. Right, we've moved on. Let's move on from David Coote because the footballing world will move on from him.
And we'll never speak of him again.
Yeah, he's done. Well, till the FA hire him back in a few years.
I think he'll have to go. He'll probably go abroad. Go Saudi, David. Just go to Saudi, mate. They'll have
Take the
you.
money, chill out.
Yeah. No Jurgen Klopp there.
I think, it's poor. You two have gone down a really different road here. Just because it's
It's
Liverpool.
just a man who's made a mistake, innit? I don't. That's all it is.
I hate
He's
referees.
unemployed, doesn't need us jumping on him. He's going to be unemployed.
Yeah. He's got enough people kicking him down. He needs some hope in his life. David, if you're listening, just go to Saudi. Everything's going to be all right. You will get less stick there and more money.
Yeah,
And the job will be easier. And it'll be slower and easier and sunny. In fact, I don't know why you weren't there anyway.
Idiot.
yeah.
Get over there.
Let's move on to the last bit of breaking news, Liam, and that is about Gary Lineker.
Good. I was wondering what it was. I forgot that. Yeah, Gary Lineker, yes, stepping out from match of the day. Well, it's only just happened. It's literally actually breaking during podcast breaking news.
It is big though. Match of the day is one of TV's remaining institutions. And
1999. Yeah, he started in
when he was on it?
1999. Yeah, took over from Des Lynam in 1999.
before Joey Barton gets involved and has his say, who do you think will be his replacement?
No idea. Mark Chapman would be my guess.
Probably in
Early
line
doors.
for it, yeah.
I
It'd be
don't
some-
know though.
Maybe some fucking dickhead YouTuber no one wants to see.
I had heard a while ago that they were targeting Micah Richards to replace him. You know, because he's been
Oh my
doing the
God.
show. They want him to be the face of it. He's the face
Oh,
of the youth,
God.
apparently.
Could not think of anything worse than Micah Richards presenting.
I don't know. I feel like
He's
the good thing about
horrific.
Michael Richards asking the questions is we don't need to hear Michael Richards' answers to the questions.
You got him laugh at every answer though, like everything's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, who else could be in the running for the hot seat, if you will? Jason Mohammed? Would he be a consideration, maybe?
Potentially. I mean, there's probably loads of guys hanging around the BBC who will be eyeing it up, especially with the salary that one comes with. That's well publicised. But yeah, Gary Lineker's been doing it a long time. I think it's a big moment in terms of footballing broadcasting. There was a big thing made when Des Lynam stepped away back in our youth. Gary Lineker's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, the name just comes to me, but I think he's probably making far too much money with TalkSport. But Jeff Stelling would be perfect, wouldn't he? Well, he's probably making a ridiculous bag with TalkSport.
But he's only on 2 days a week, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a cushy deal then, isn't it? He can just one night a week's better than 2 days a week, I suppose.
I don't see there's a world where he can't do both and still enjoy a nice semi-retirement 3 days work a week.
There's quite a few worth watching, I think, on TalkSport that could potentially do it. Adi Oladipo, he's a potential, I think.
He is good.
Yeah, he's got. I know he's got pretty good with DAZN's boxing, so he'd probably have to leave that because it's going to be taken up every Saturday. But I could potentially Laura Woods potentially, unless with ITV, but
it'll be a woman.
What hasn't she done? So could be a. There's quite a few. There's quite a few. If I was going to guess right now, I'd go Mark Chapman.
I think Laura Woods is due maternity leave very soon as well, so it's probably not great timing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, who would I go with? I like the Jeff Stelling shout. That's good. Someone who, but maybe they want someone younger.
I was going to say, I don't think they're going to go with someone older than Gary Lineker, are they? Get Alan Brazil. If we went TalkSport, let's go whole hog. Let's get Alan Brazil in.
No, not him. He's had enough as it is. Having him on 1 day a week, so I'm just watching enough. Him and Ali McCoist, it's just...
You know,
Alan Brazil
and
Saturday night.
Alan Brazil and Ray Parlour. Ray Parlour and Alan Brazil.
No.
Just a piss up.
It's the most like knuckle dragging presenters you could possibly get on. It'd be awful. I couldn't deal with that.
I agree. Not for me. Right, let's leave it there, boys.
One more before we do. Darren Bent, maybe.
Darren Bent.
Or Dion Dublin.
No, I prefer Darren Bent, but I don't know.
I'm not pitching. I'm not.
Sounds like you are.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Fucking give it to Ant Deck like everything else.
The big move from ITV.
Give it Matt Chapman to the end of the season.
Right, let's leave it there. Boys, I will catch you on the next one, please. Everyone, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all places you would find podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube, that would be good. And be in with a chance of winning a David Beckham signed shirt. Just follow the competition that you can find in the details below of this episode, wherever you're listening. And yes, we'll catch you on the next one. Oh, by the way, all details are at www.fixingfootballpodcast.com. I nearly forgot. Liam, Scott, thank you very much.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you in a bit.